Look, if you're an ardent football fan and you have a favorite team, this is the time of year where you just kind of you're kind of like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. You kind of hold it in a little bit. You hold your breath a little bit because you never know what's going to happen. Like, everybody's healthy. Everybody's in best shape of their life, especially when they hold it in. And you're just waiting for that lightning to strike one of the best players on your favorite team. And the lightning struck in a weird way yesterday when, out of the blue, Joe Burrow's got to have his appendix out. And look, if it's going to happen at any point between the start of training camp and the end of the season, I guess the best time for it to happen is right now.
Definitely.
But it's just an example of crazy stuff can happen at any time. And you can either get injured during a game or a practice or some other weird thing can happen.
Yeah.
So Joe Burrow, out of the blue, appendix out, and he'll miss 10 days. And that means he's going to miss 10 days of camp. I don't think it'll be an issue for him. But still, he's going to miss 10 days of camp.
Yeah, he's going to miss 10 days of camp. That stinks. There's no doubt about it. I think that pretty much crosses him out for preseason game number 1. You're not going to see him there now. So, that's the other aspect. And again, I don't know how much he would have played in preseason game number 1 altogether. Not a game changer. I mean, your point about how fickle the NFL season can be as far as just luck or, just how things like this can play out in everyday human life, yes, can change the outlook for a whole franchise. Now, fortunately for this one, this is not one of those type of injuries. Yeah, 10 days. All right, he's going to be in the hospital for, probably 2-3 days at the most. He'll be back.
I don't know. Do they even let you stay? My sister had
they might not. You might be
Wednesday,
out.
And
right.
She didn't even spend the night.
Right. So to that point, he's going to be in meetings. I'm sure he'll be on the practice field. It's not like he's learning a new offense, right, Mike? I mean, he's probably, next level in that offense at this point anyways. So, yeah, he's going to miss some reps early on in camp, miss preseason game, but I think, like you said, it's going to give him enough time to get his feet back on the ground, get going to where week 1, it's, all systems go.
Trivia question for Chris Sims.
Yeah.
Unexpected, and we know some folks out there love the trivia questions. 2006 regular season opener, Thursday night. Nick Saban and the Dolphins go to Pittsburgh to take on Bill Cowher in the first game of his last year with the Steelers, hanging the banner after finally getting the one for the thumb after 26 years.
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger, emergency appendectomy, and didn't play in that week 1 game in 2006. Question: who started at quarterback in that game for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Wow. Gosh, is it Batch? I mean,
Bingo!
It was. Charlie was still there,
yes,
right?
Charlie Batch.
He was. Yep. All right. I do kind of remember that. I do. I just was like, wait, was he still there at that point? I couldn't quite remember my timeline. That's what's scary. You remember players and things, all right, and you forget how you talk about so many times, but then you start to go, wait, when did he play exactly? I mean, that's what stinks about getting old in the NFL. Between all the players, all the good ones that, aren't superstars that we kind of forget about at times, it's hard to kind of piece them together every now and then.
Charlie Batch threw 3 touchdown passes, and Joey Porter returned an interception for a touchdown as the Steelers beat the Dolphins without Ben Roethlisberger 28-17. And if I recall correctly, there was some issue in that game with Nick Saban and his red flag. Like there was a red challenge flag issue. Like he threw it too late, or he tried to time it just right. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Maybe it's just years of recollections being jumbled together. But I remember that game.
Yeah.
And that was a big night in Pittsburgh. They finally, after the 79 season, finally got back to the Super Bowl and won it. And they didn't have Ben Roethlisberger out of the blue for week 1. So there are times when the appendectomy can land at an inopportune moment. Others who have had the appendicitis that results in the removal of the completely useless organ. John Wolford, Rams quarterback, missed the preseason last year because of it. Austin Hooper, Browns tight end, who is he with?
Oh,
he was cut.
It is the Titans.
He's with the Titans
yes.
now. Alex Mack played a game with undiagnosed appendicitis in 2011 with the Browns, and Matt Castle with the Chiefs in 2010 missed a game. So it can happen. It happened to Joe Burrow, and he'll be out for 10 days. And this is the time of year, like I said, you're worried about that thing that can derail all of that hope that you've built up over these months of your team being 0-0. But it shouldn't be an issue for the Bengals, and Burrow should be back and good as new sooner rather than later.
No doubt. It's beginner stages, too, of training camp. I mean, as we've discussed before, and you know this, I mean, it's the basics of the offense to a degree. You kind of start back at square one and kind of where you were in OTAs. So it's not plays that, are going to be new to the team or anything that Joe Burrow's going to feel like, wow, I haven't repped this before. I need a little more work here. In a lot of ways, again, I don't want to say it's a blessing in disguise, but for lack of a better way to say it, I am. There's some positives in the fact that, hey, to me, one of the questions about the Bengals football team that's a little scary is their backup quarterback situation. It is. And then when you talk about, hey, Joe Burrow, he holds the ball, he takes a lot of hits. We know they haven't protected well. They should be better. If I'm sitting there, as an assistant coach, OC, hey, we'd love to have Joe Burrow here, but I think you can look at it as a positive to go, hey, we can get some of these other guys that, haven't had a lot of reps, don't have a lot of experience in the NFL, get them some passes here and get them feeling good in the offense a little bit.
And if nothing else, you get a little more information so you can make decisions about who you keep and who you don't keep.
That's right, Mike.
It comes time to cut the roster. They got Brandon Allen and Jake Browning. They only have 3 quarterbacks that are showing up on the roster. Usually teams take 4. They're going to have to add somebody pretty quickly if Burrow's going to be out for the first 10 days because 2 quarterbacks isn't enough when you got 90 guys running around out there on the field.
No, I mean, they might be able to get away with it since these guys are young. But I would think you're right that they're going to be looking at maybe one other arm to add into the fray here. But hey, I'm sure they're gonna make those guys work. And then even I wonder with Joe Burrow, how long it'll be until maybe he can even throw. Maybe he's gonna be able to throw drills in 5 days. Maybe they don't want him running around or moving, but maybe he can stand there and throw the ball and out route to the tight ends and do that type of stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if he can kind of dabble in some of that stuff here, pretty soon.
If anybody can defy medical expectations and diagnoses, it's Joe Burrow. Because I remember last year we were very concerned about his comeback from the knee, and they were being very careful with him in the preseason. And I remember thinking back to Carson Palmer when he tore the ACL in that 2005 playoff run for the Steelers. One of the reasons the Steelers got to the Super Bowl and won it, they went to Cincinnati, and Carson Palmer, a low hit from Kimo von Oelhoffen on his first throw of the game, out for the offseason, obviously. But he was into that next year saying that he would still kind of see ghosts around his knee. He wasn't comfortable planting that left leg for the right-handed quarterback. That left leg's exposed. Burrow, we were worried about it last year. From the moment they started week 1 against the Vikings, it was like he'd never even had the injury.
It was crazy. It was about as much as I worried about a quarterback, going into a regular season of Joe Burrow's status in a while. Because it wasn't just like us talking about it and the media. I mean, he had even referred to a few things during training camp about kind of getting it going and feeling comfortable and all those issues. And then if I, correct me if I'm wrong, he only played, 3 plays in the preseason? I think it was 3. Like, he came in.
It was a joke. It's like, why even bother?
Like, they took him out in the drive, right? They got, a first down, and then it was, first down again, second down, and they took him out of the game and put the other guy in to where you went, ooh, man, they're really concerned about him. But, like you said, week 1, he got healthy just in time. And then who was it? Who was that team they beat in week 1? I can't remember. Who was that?
Well, the Vikings, they had a little problem last year with figuring out where the end zone was. Against the Bengals, right, when it was 3rd and inches from the 50 in overtime, they treated it like the goal line, and it blew up in their faces. And then later in the year when they were in Detroit and the Lions were trying to win the game, they just treated the goal line like it was some radioactive vat of quicksand, and they backed off of it completely and let Amon-Ra St. Brown catch the touchdown pass that won the game. So there's 2 games, and it just shows you how razor thin the margin is.
They're in the playoffs.
Between playoffs and no playoffs. And you get a couple of stupid-ass coaching decisions. Sorry, Mike Zimmer. He was the defensive expert. You're treating the 50 like it's the frickin' goal line, and you lose to the Bengals, and then you ignore the goal line when you're playing the Lions, and you lose there. You turn those 2 losses into wins, and that's a playoff team.
Yeah, I hear you. I know. It is. It's tough. Yeah, and also, if I remember correctly, that Bengals-Vikings game had the controversial Dalvin Cook fumble, right? That didn't really look like it was a fumble, but we didn't have enough evidence to overturn it. Right.
Right.
Yeah, it seemed like his butt was on the ground. Then the ball came out. So, yeah, your squad had a some tough breaks last year, but not that you're a fan of them or anything. Not that you remember those little details or anything.
No,
like
I
that.
don't. I remember the details about every game played by every team. What are you talking about? All right, so Joe Burrow should be fine, and still, it just underscores the fact that the truly zealous fan short for fanatic, the fanatics are obsessed about all the ways their dreams can collapse in the preseason, whether it is that, and I don't even want to go any farther with it. You don't want to name names or throw out potential injuries, but it can happen. It can turn a season upside down. Vikings, 2016, Teddy Bridgewater. At the end, the hay's in the barn on the preseason and training camp, and you're ready to go. And his knee just completely is obliterated, non-contact at a practice, and it threw the entire. They had high hopes. First year of the new stadium, Teddy Bridgewater coming into his own, and that was it. So it can happen to any of the 32 teams at any time.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.